The film begins with an old man named Li Bia, who was a poet and loved to write beautiful poems. One day, he was feeling really sad because he wanted some wine to enjoy life, especially since he knew he didn't have much time left. Late at night, he sat and thought about the poems he had written. Then, another poet named Dong Zheng came along. He told Li Bia that his poems were amazing and admired by everyone. Dong Zheng wanted to make sure Li Bia's talent would be remembered forever, so he decided to use a special brush to capture his skill. Dong Zheng also gave Li Bia a bottle of wine to cheer him up. At that time, Li Bia drank every last drop of the wine and suddenly felt inspired. His hands moved quickly, and he wrote some of his most beautiful poetry on the paper in front of him. After that, Dong Zheng acted to capture Li Bia's essence into the spirit brush, creating a magical brush that flew away to meet a master elsewhere. Dong Zheng then said goodbye to Li Bia. The story shifts to modern-day China. There's a young man named Luo Zhongxia, who's busy browsing his university's website to pick his courses. Luo Zhongxia has a habit of procrastinating and only chooses his classes at the last minute. As a result, he ends up with a boring subject, which was literature. At that time, Luo Zhongxia is a freshman at Huaxi University, studying engineering. The next day, Luo Zhongxia went to his class on campus. As he entered, he felt bored because he wasn't really into literature. The lecturer, Mr. Zhu, was teaching a difficult lesson that Luo Zhongxia couldn't understand. Mr. Zhu was strict and often asked questions to the students. While Mr. Zhu was teaching, Luo Zhongxia was playing with his pen because he was bored. Mr. Zhu noticed and asked Luo Zhongxia to answer a question. This caught Luo Zhongxia off guard, and he answered without much thought, which made everyone in the class laugh. One of the students, Zhang He, didn't like what happened. He wanted to impress Mr. Zhu, so he scolded Luo Zhongxia for disrespecting literature. Luo Zhongxia didn't mean to be disrespectful, he just didn't understand the lesson. However, Zhang He dragged Luo Zhongxia to Mr. Zhu. Zhang He asked Luo Zhongxia to apologize, but Luo Zhongxia felt embarrassed and refused. Zhang He was very angry and accidentally almost knocked over Mr. Zhu's coffee cup. Thankfully, Luo Zhongxia caught it just in time. Mr. Zhu wasn't upset about the coffee. He cared more about his special pineapple-textured brush, which was safe. Unfortunately, Luo Zhongxia accidentally stepped on Mr. Zhu's brush, making Zhang He even more upset. Then, Zhang He decided to report the incident to the campus dean. As Luo Zhongxia walked to the room, he kept complaining about what happened earlier. When he arrived, Zhang He acted friendly and pretended to feel sorry for Luo Zhongxia's behavior. But in reality, Zhang He just wanted attention. He said a lot of things that made Luo Zhongxia look bad in front of the lecturer and the dean. The dean got really angry at Luo Zhongxia because of what Zhang He said. Luo Zhongxia was terrified because his reputation was at risk. Then Mr. Zhu intervened and asked him to buy the same rare brush that he had, knowing he would have a hard time finding it. Despite this, Luo Zhongxia was determined to find the brush. He searched in many shops but couldn't find it anywhere. While searching, Luo Zhongxia saw Zhang He wandering around the market. He decided to follow him. To Luo Zhongxia's surprise, Zhang He was also looking for the brush, but he had connections to a shop owned by his uncle, who could help him find it. Zhang A's uncle even gave information about where to find the pineapple-textured brush. Luo Zhongxia heard this and quickly took action to go to that place. When Luo Zhongxia arrived, he met a woman named Cici. He asked her about the brush, and she gave it to him. But then a man named Cheng Hing showed up looking for the brush. Cici refused to give it to him because she knew he was a criminal. Luo Zhongxia panicked when Cheng Hing tried to steal the brush, but Cheng Hing threw it away when he realized it wasn't the one he wanted. Still, Luo Zhongxia managed to catch the pineapple-textured brush that Cheng Hing threw. Meanwhile, Cheng Hing found Rod's brush and tried to escape. But Cici used her power to lower the temperature and attacked him with a snowflake. Cheng Hing fought back, and their struggle caused the spirit brush to fly away. Luo Zhongxia intervened and ended up with the brush stuck in his chest. He was shocked and didn't realize he was going to die. But instead, he was transported into a world of letters filled with Shaki's power. In this new world, Luo Zhongxia gained strength and fought back against Cheng Hing, surprising him with his sudden power. Long story short, Luo Zhongxia woke up in a dream. He found himself in a small canoe on a river, wearing strange ancient clothing. He was shocked to realize he was in a dream world, but decided to explore anyway. Suddenly, a big wave hit, and he was thrown from the canoe. Soon after, he woke up from his dream to a big jolt. Wei Si and Cici's grandchildren were there. Wei Si told Luo Zhongxia he seemed weak. Confused, Luo Zhongxia asked who Wei Si was. There Wei-si explained he owned an antique shop. Luo Zhong wondered why he had fainted, and Wei-si said it was all just a hallucination. However, Luo Zhong didn't believe it was just a hallucination. Wei-si tried to convince him otherwise. Luo Zhong then asked about the brush he was looking for. Wei-si said Zane had just bought it. Panicked, Luo Zhong rushed off, feeling like he had failed. But Wei-si gave him a cool brush to make up for it. After that, Luo Zhong hurried to Mr. Zhu's house to deliver the brush. Luo Zhong was surprised to find Zhonghe there. They both went into Mr. Zhu's house. At first, Mr. Zhu ignored Luo Zhong and praised Zhonghe for finding the brush. But when Luo Zhong showed his beautiful brush, Mr. Zhu got excited and used it right away. He really liked the brush Luo Zhong gave him. Luo Zhong didn't expect Mr. Zhu to like him. After leaving Mr. Zhu's house, Luo Zhong and Zhonghe went home. But Luo Zhong stopped at an internet cafe to play games. He was shocked to find he could read ancient writing in the game. He realized he had become smart after visiting Wei-si's shop. Soon after, Luo Zhong heard a commotion outside the internet cafe. He saw the owner, Yan Zheng, being attacked by a group of thugs. Shortly after, Yan Zheng kicked them out, and Luo Zhong decided to help. At first, he was scared, but he started to enjoy the fight. He even used a broom as a weapon. The thugs were tough, but Luo Zhong's strength came through, and he fought them off. Yan Zheng was amazed to see how skilled Luo Zhong was in martial arts. The gangsters tried to attack him, but Luo Zhong fought back fiercely, making them run away. After the fight, Yan Zheng thanked Luo Zhong, who felt exhausted and needed rest. He still felt overwhelmed, releasing a lot of power. That night, Luo Zhong had a dream where he met a mysterious poet. When he woke up, he went outside for some fresh air and unexpectedly encountered a demon. He tried to run, but was attacked and cornered. Thankfully, Cici appeared and saved him from the brutal attack of the demons. Using magic, Cici defeated the demon and took Luo Zhong home to keep him safe from further danger. Since then, Luo Zhong has been surprised by the strange things happening in his life. Though his life used to be ordinary, everything changed after the spirit brush came into his possession. So, Luo Zhong and Cici hurried to Wei-si's house. When Luo Zhong arrived at Wei-si's house, he kept asking questions, but Cici didn't answer. Finally, Luo Zhong met Wei-si again. Wei-si invited him to have tea together, and Cici served drinks to everyone. There Wei-si explained that the brush Luo Zhong had been given was called the green lotus brush and had been implanted in Luo Zhong's body. He also told Luo Zhong about the origins of the spirit brush burial ritual. Long ago, a poet was sad to see the graves of great poets. Even though he was skilled, he knew his life would be short because he was old. So he created a ritual to transfer the spirits of poets into a brush. Whoever used the brush would gain the abilities of those poets. This surprised Luo Zhong, as he now owned the brush spirit. Suddenly, a man named Li Zhu appeared. He was a warrior looking for the brush spirit to kill its owner, Luo Zhong. Soon after, Li Zhu attacked, but Wei-si and Cici stopped him. At that time, Luo Zhong helped defend Cici when she was attacked. But Li Zhu's attack was too strong, and Wei-si got hurt protecting Luo Zhong. Furious, Luo Zhong attacked Li Zhu back. Cornered, Li Zhu prepared to escape and promised to return another time. Nasha was worried about his seriously injured grandfather, so they took Wei-si to rest in the room. At that time, Wei-si wanted Luo Zhong to learn more about the poems written by Li Bia. After hearing Wei-si's story, Luo Zhong went to campus with Cici. They planned to study in the library after class. On the way, Zhonghe felt jealous and tried to take Cici away from Luo Zhong. There he insulted and made fun of Luo Zhong, making everyone laugh. Seeing Luo Zhong being treated poorly made Cici angry. He didn't stay silent and defended Luo Zhong in front of everyone. His words embarrassed Zhonghe. After that, Luo Zhong and Cici hurried to the library to get poetry books. They went to the park together to read. When Luo Zhong didn't understand a poem, Cici explained it to him so he could understand better. Meanwhile, Zhonghe overheard a conversation about the brush spirit. He decided he wanted one too. So he spent the whole night in his study, researching brush spirits, but he didn't find anything useful. He felt frustrated and started to resent Luo Zhong because Luo Zhong found the brush spirit easily while Zhonghe struggled. Zhonghe thought about how to find the brush spirit, but was too tired and fell asleep. The next day, Luo Zhong and Cici went to the park for some fresh air so Luo Zhong could study peacefully. Luo Zhong tried to read the book, but he didn't understand it. Then Cici encouraged him to understand it quickly, hoping he would learn something about poetry. At that time, Luo Zhong wanted to impress Cixi, so he talked confidently about poetry, making Cixi happy because he seemed to know a lot about ancient arts. But actually, Luo Zhong had planned what to say beforehand by getting advice from Zhu the night before. Even though Luo Zhong didn't really understand Li Bia's poetry, Cixi was still pleased with his effort to improve. During their meeting, Luo Zhong also showed off a fast brush attack technique, surprising Cixi with his quick reflexes. After that, they both got ready for their journey. Meanwhile, Zhonghe had a meeting with a woman named Qin. Unbeknownst to him, Qin planned to use Zhonghe as a sacrifice. Later that evening, Luo Zhong and Cixi returned to the internet cafe. Since Cixi needed to take care of Luo Zhong, she joined him inside. Then, while Luo Zhong played his favorite game, Cixi sat beside him to keep him company. After they finished playing, Cixi suggested they study together. Luo Zhong agreed and followed her lead until they both got tired and Cixi fell asleep. Later on, Luo Zhong contacted Zhu to borrow his special brush. Zhu explained that Zhonghe had borrowed it. Hearing this, Luo Zhong rushed to find Zhonghe. When he arrived, he was shocked to find Zhonghe unconscious. Luo Zhong checked the room and discovered that Qin had captured Zhonghe and was using him for experiments. When Luo Zhong saw what was happening, he quickly pretended to be Zhonghe. But Qin saw through his lie and attacked him. Luo Zhong dodged and tried to rescue Zhonghe, but Qin caught him and attacked him brutally. He was shocked by the power of her brush and ended up lying on the ground, trapped by her chains. Feeling helpless, Luo Zhong tried to stand up and figure out a way to fight back. He summoned his inner strength and bravely confronted Qin, surprising her with his abilities. Qin realized that Luo Zhong was the one who possessed the green lotus brush spirit. Now, Luo Zhong is filled with excitement, eager to defeat Qin who has been rude and arrogant, especially for using Zhonghe as a sacrifice. With deadly techniques, Luo Zhong manages to defeat Qin easily and rushes to save Zhonghe from danger, taking him to an internet cafe for safety. Soon after, Cixi provides first aid to Zhonghe, but unfortunately, he doesn't wake up because his spirit is partly controlled by evil forces. Then, Zhonghe's father arrives, takes his son away, and gives money to Luo Zhong as thanks for his help. Zhonghe's father warns Luo Zhong not to associate with shamans like Cixi, which surprises Luo Zhong. Later, Luo Zhong realizes an item he took from Qin is missing and discovers Yanzheng has taken it and been affected by its power. Luo Zhong and Cixi quickly attend to Yanzheng until he regains consciousness, feeling strange afterward. At the same time, some criminals sent soldiers from the graveyard, causing zombies to attack Luo Zhong and his friends. Luo Zhong tried his best to protect everyone, but during the chaos, he also studied how to use Yanzheng's brush. However, he got affected by magic, so Cixi worked hard to bring him back to normal. After a fierce battle, they finally emerged victorious. Yanzheng discovered his healing power during the fight. Later, they went to the hospital to check on Zhonghe's condition. There, Luo Zhong met Zhu, who was also visiting Zhonghe. They talked about Zhonghe's situation. In Weixi's shop, Weiqi was seen discussing Luo Zhong with someone. Unfortunately, Luo Zhong overheard a conversation between Cixi and Weiqi, revealing that he was just being used by Weixi's family. This revelation led to an argument between Luo Zhong and Cixi. Eventually, Luo Zhong decided to leave. Then, Weiqi complained about Cixi being careless for being discovered by Luo Zhong, but everything had already happened, and they needed to come up with a new plan. On his own, Luo Zhong walked out of the room where Zhonghe was being treated, feeling angry because he believed Cixi and Weiqi had betrayed him. He had trusted them both, thinking they genuinely cared for him. Feeling hurt, Luo Zhong decided to distance himself, fearing further betrayal. As he walked, Luo Zhong encountered Qin, who tried to persuade him to join her. Soon after, Qin offered to help Luo Zhong use his power to replace the graveyard messengers, who were also after him. This revelation shocked Luo Zhong, making him realize that he had been used by everyone for their own agendas. Because of that, Luo Zhong still didn't trust Qin's words completely. But Qin insisted that Luo Zhong was hurt from being lied to by Cixi. Luo Zhong was surprised because it seemed Qin knew his secret. Soon after, Qin took Luo Zhong with her to find an item that could cure Zhonghe, as they agreed before. Luo Zhong agreed to help Qin on the condition that she saved Zhonghe's life. But when they got to the car, Qin shocked Luo Zhong with a gun and kidnapped him. During the journey, Luo Zhong tried to escape, but he was locked in the car's trunk. He tried to contact Yan Zheng, but couldn't speak because he was being held captive. Shortly after, they arrived at the Fuyuan Temple, where Qin planned to kill Luo Zhong to replace the brush spirit that had been taken from her the day before. Out of the blue, a monk named Bi Dao and his companion Xu Zhao showed up. Xu Zhao ordered Bi Dao to arrest Qin, but she fought back and managed to escape. This made Luo Zhong feel uneasy, and he even considered fighting against Bi Dao and Xu Zhao. However, Bi Dao explained that they were there to help Luo Zhong. Then Bi Dao revealed that all brush holders were searching for the owner of a special type of brush, including Luo Zhong's green lotus brush. He explained that Luo Zhong's brush could open the brush tomb, which shocked Luo Zhong. Bi Dao explained that the brush tomb was a parallel world full of powerful sources. As they talked about the brush tomb, Yan Zheng suddenly appeared and attacked Xu Zhao. Turns out Yan Zheng had tracked Luo Zhong's location through the phone. He overheard their conversation and decided to join them. However, they soon realized that enemies were approaching. Bi Dao and his companion hit themselves. Unexpectedly, Qinglian arrived with a hostage to be used as a sacrifice. When Qinglian wanted to attack his target, Luo Zhong and his friends stepped in to stop him. They came out of hiding and confronted Qinglian. Despite this, Qinglian was pleased to see them. He was ready to get back the brush spirit from his target's body, but Luo Zhong stopped him because he was shocked by Qinglian's cruelty. In response, Luo Zhong and his friends fought against Qinglian. Qinglian, determined to destroy Luo Zhong and his friends, also fought back. It's important to note that Luo Zhong had a special brush, which Qinglian wanted to control. Soon after, Qinglian launched a fierce attack, but Bi Dao intervened to stop the chaos. This annoyed Qinglian, as he felt a monk like Bi Dao shouldn't meddle in his affairs. Then the fight intensified. But despite being cornered, Luo Zhong tried to prevent Qinglian from taking the brush spirit. However, Qinglian ultimately succeeded and killed his target. After Luo Zhong witnessed Qinglian killing someone, Yan Zheng stepped in to help by using his magic to heal Luo Zhong. But Luo Zhong refused because he remembered that Yan Zheng's magic had turned into poison when they were attacked by zombies before. Seeing Yan Zheng trying to help, Qinglian attacked him to stop him from interfering. Despite being hit, Yan Zheng managed to use his poison magic on Qinglian, surprising him and allowing Qinglian's spirit brush to enter Luo Zhong's body. Now, Luo Zhong had two spirits inside him. He took this opportunity to fight back against Qinglian, ultimately defeating him and ensuring their survival. Later, Yan Zheng handed Luo Zhong a letter from CC. Inside, they found a poetic message. Unable to understand it, Luo Zhong and Bi Dao became curious and decided to investigate further. The next day, Luo Zhong and Bi Dao went to Bi Dao's village to gather information. Meanwhile, Yan Zheng and Xu Zhao were assigned to explore the brush tomb by Bi Dao, so they split up. In the village, Bi Dao met his father, Pat Dao. Luo Zhong was surprised to learn that Bi Dao came from a wealthy family. Bi Dao told his father about the brush, but instead of helping, Pat Dao trapped them, both because he wanted Luo Zhong's excellent brush for himself. Luo Zhong, who had good endurance, managed to hold onto two brushes. While Pat Dao rested in his room, Bi Dao's uncle arrived and advised him. Eventually, Pat Dao released Luo Zhong and Bi Dao. There, he apologized and shared information about Qinglian's brush. Tragically, Pat Dao suddenly passed away, shocking Luo Zhong. Bi Dao realized that his father died due to foul play. They suspected witchcraft. Despite this, they were accused of killing Pat Dao, causing chaos in the village. Soon after, Luo Zhong turned to Bi Dao for help, but Bi Dao was unsure of what to do. Still, Bi Dao decided to suggest they run away together. Along the way, Bi Dao remembered a temple where villagers kept spiritual brushes. They hurried there, thinking it might hold a way out. They knew the brush thief had recently escaped from there, and Bi Dao was convinced there must be a secret exit. When Luo Zhong realized Bi Dao didn't have a spiritual brush, he offered him one. But Bi Dao refused, saying Luo Zhong alone couldn't handle it, let alone himself. He believed Luo Zhong still struggled to accept his role as the spiritual brush's owner. This made Luo Zhong realize the burden the brush brought. He had to constantly watch his back, fearing for his life. The next day, Luo Zhong and Bi Dao went exploring and stumbled upon a hidden passage. They found a wall sliced by a sword. At that time, Luo Zhong used his strength to break through, and they continued together until Bi Dao decided to go his own way to investigate his father's death. Later, Luo Zhong stayed overnight with Yan Zheng, as they had plans for the next day. Unable to sleep, Luo Zhong was troubled by thoughts of CC. At that moment, Yan Zheng noticed and advised him not to dwell on it, reminding him that crying over a woman was pointless. The following day, Luo Zhong and Yan Zheng journeyed to another temple, but were attacked by members of Zhao Gu's family. There, Luo Zhong fought back, but they were outnumbered. Seeing that, Yan Zheng used magic to intervene. While Lin Lin launched her attack, aiming to snatch Luo Zhong's brush, he swiftly dodged and tried to defend himself. Despite his efforts, he couldn't evade all of Lin Lin's strikes. Meanwhile, Yan Zheng was ensnared by Pan Pan's magic, and the two found themselves in a strange room where they exchanged words. Soon after, Yan Zheng devised a plan while Pan Pan boasted, confident that Yan Zheng would fail. On the other hand, Luo Zhong persisted in his efforts to fend off Lin Lin's relentless assault. Yet strength proved overwhelming, easily repelling his attacks. Eventually, Yan Zheng broke free and used his poison magic to injure Pan Pan severely. However, Yan Zheng was taken aback to see Luo Zhong still struggling against Lin Lin. In the midst of their battle, they accidentally disturbed a grave, releasing a vengeful spirit that attacked them all unexpectedly. At that time, Luo Zhong was really surprised when he saw a mean, huge ghost. But he didn't waste time and jumped in to protect Lin Lin from getting hurt by that ghost. He made a strong shield to keep her safe. Then, Lin Lin got scared when Luo Zhong got too close, so she smacked him. But Luo Zhong didn't like that and told her she should be thankful because he was helping her. Soon after, Pan quickly pulled Lin Lin away from Luo Zhong's shield because they needed to run away right away. There, Luo Zhong told Yan Zheng to run too. Yan Zheng was curious about how Luo Zhong made the shield. But Luo Zhong said he didn't know either because he was confused about how he did it. Now, Lin Lin and Pan were having trouble escaping, so Luo Zhong lent a hand. While they were trying to get away, they also came up with a plan to calm down the angry ghost named Bian Chai. But every time they tried to escape, they ended up back where they started. Luo Zhong and his friends were getting worried. To make their shield stronger, they grabbed their brushes and helped each other out. Then, Pan explained that Luo Zhong had saved Lin Lin, and because of that, he might have received a special gift. He still looked young even after using many brushes. They'd also heard that the ghost Bian Che mentioned the name Su Li. When Pan heard this, he remembered that Bian Che had hidden a document of beautiful poetry in the past. The king of China once asked Bian Che for this document, but Bian Che denied having it and hid it on purpose. Then, one day, Bian Che met Su Li. They got close because they had a lot in common, and Bian Che was happy to have a friend like Su Li. But Su Li took advantage of Bian Che's trust and went after the secret document. This led to Bian Che's death, and now Bian Che's spirit is filled with anger towards his friend. Because of this, Bian Che's ghost wanders around, seeking revenge. After hearing the story, Luo Zhong understood why Bian Che's spirit was so furious. So it was because of betrayal. Then he asked Lin Lin for help to destroy Bian Che's tomb, believing that it would stop the spirit's anger. Besides that, Luo Zhong wanted to remove the brush from his body. Soon after, Luo Zhong and Lin Lin teamed up to take action. Luo Zhong had Yan Zheng with him for protection. Whenever someone got hurt, Yan Zheng used his abilities to heal them. Lin also used her powers, but it made Bian Che's spirit even angrier, because Lin Lin accidentally destroyed the ashes of his body. Bian Che's rage caused chaos. Then suddenly, Luo Zhong's brush flew towards Bian Che's spirit. Surprisingly, the brush gave advice and guidance, calming Bian Che down. Eventually, Bian Che cried and his spirit vanished, making everything safe again. Luo Zhong and his friends finally got a moment to rest because they were exhausted from the ordeal. Suddenly, Wei Si and Cici showed up. They took Bian Che's brush and kept it. Luo Zhong wanted to fight Wei Si, but he was too tired. Wei Si was strong enough to throw Luo Zhong's body far away. When Cici approached Luo Zhong, he asked her to leave immediately. Unexpectedly, Chum Hing showed up and invited his sister Lin Lin to bring Luo Zhong to their family home. When they arrived home, there was a big celebration because they had managed to bring Luo Zhong. However, Chum Hing asked Lin Lin to kill Luo Zhong and his friends right away because they knew too much about their family secrets. Shortly after, Lin Lin attacked Luo Zhong and Yan Zheng in the underground prison. Seeing that, Chum Hing was pleased because Lin Lin was following his orders. But it turned out to be a trick by the Zhao Gu family to expose Chum Hing's crimes. At that time, Qin tried to defend himself by claiming that Luo Zhong and Yan Zheng had killed their family members. However, Lin knew that Qin was lying. Qin became more suspicious because he had hidden the truth about their family members' deaths. Shortly after, officials from the Zhao family arrived with Pan. They questioned Luo Zhong and Yan Zheng. They thought Luo Zhong seemed suspicious, so he used a special brush that reveals the truth. Suddenly, the brush showed that Luo Zhong was innocent because it couldn't answer directly. But Qin disagreed because he was scared his crimes would be revealed. He attacked someone else, but Luo Zhong and Yan Zheng stopped him. The hidden criminal was caught, so Luo Zhong and his friends were safe with the Zhao family. Later, Luo Zhong met Zhao and realized that Li Zhu, who attacked him before, was mistaken. There, Luo Zhong and Li Zhu talked to clear up the misunderstanding. After that event, Luo Zhong and Yan Zheng found themselves under constant watch. However, they spent their days playing and having fun without any worries. Then, one day, Luo Zhong received a voice message from Bidao about the Lutian Temple and the Tomb of the Brush Divider. At that time, Lin overheard this conversation and helped Luo Zhong escape. But in return, Luo Zhong had to help Lin seek revenge on those who troubled the Zhao family. During their journey, they discovered that the base guard also possessed a spiritual brush. So they decided to attack and successfully escaped. Long story short, Luo Zhong ended up in the hospital where Bidao was being treated. There, Bidao told Luo Zhong that his uncle, who had welcomed them previously, had misbehaved. Bidao decided to follow his uncle and found him meeting the owner of the spiritual brush, discussing their plan to open the illusion portal. Despite this, Bidao still believes that his uncle and the Zhao family aren't connected. He thinks someone else is trying to cause trouble between them. Meanwhile, Lin and Yan Zheng were shocked. They didn't know Pan and his group had already dealt with the bandits. Then, Yan Zheng suggested Pan might have wanted to protect Lin. On the other hand, Lin and Yan Zheng decided to keep going, feeling uneasy. When they peeked at the temple, they saw Pan and his men being attacked by a third party. It was the same person who had sent the Gray Brush army after Luo Zhong before, named Pao. He was with someone disguised as Li Zhu from the Zhao family, named Tong Kao. There, Yan Zheng stopped Lin from intervening, fearing it would make things worse. He warned her to be cautious. Meanwhile, Luo Zhong was worried because Lin and Yan Zheng didn't inform him of what was happening. Soon after, he hurried to the temple. On the other hand, Lin, enraged by the attack on her family, launched a counterattack with Yan Zheng. However, they were overpowered by the enemy's strength. Shortly after, Luo Zhong arrived and witnessed the enemy's crimes. He remembered Tong Kao, who had previously disguised himself and immediately attacked. But to his surprise, Luo Zhong's abilities were no match for the enemy. Despite this setback, Luo Zhong wasn't disheartened and prepared to keep fighting. Unfortunately, he and his friends were badly injured by the brutal enemy. They lay on the ground, their spirits separated from their bodies. Tong Kao advised Luo Zhong to listen to him. During the conversation, Tong Kao explained that the real Lutian temple had been destroyed in the past. The temple they were in was just a copy and had nothing to do with the brush divider. He also said that Luo Zhong needed to enter the realm of illusion, not the Lutian temple. Hearing that, Luo Zhong agreed to follow Tong Kao's orders to save his friend's spirits. Together, they went to the main temple. Luo Zhong opened the entrance to the illusion. Inside, everything seemed peaceful, but tense when two yellow dragons appeared. Luo Zhong stayed alert, fearing the dragons might attack, but luckily, they left him alone. Meanwhile, Pao and Tong Kao were thrilled because they had successfully trapped Luo Zhong. They believed that anyone who entered the illusion realm would be killed by the yellow dragon, allowing them to steal Luo Zhong's brush and his friend's brushes. However, things didn't go as planned. Instead of being attacked, Luo Zhong was greeted by the spirit of a monk named Huosu. This spirit wasn't the real Huosu, who had passed away, but a guardian spirit left behind in the illusion realm. Soon after, Luo Zhong received a warm welcome because he owned Li Bia's brush spirit. There, Huosu offered him some special water with healing properties, which surprised Luo Zhong when he drank it and felt his body instantly become stronger. Later, Luo Zhong shared the story of their adventures with Huosu, intending to separate the brush from his body to save his friends. However, Huosu explained that he couldn't offer much help as he was just a spirit. As Luo Zhong noticed some leaves on the table, he remembered a poem that might aid him in his quest. Meanwhile, Pao was feeling bored and wanted to play with Lin. However, Yan Zheng suddenly stood up and attacked Guo Pao. This surprised Guo Pao, because Yan Zheng noticed his intentions easily. On the other hand, Luo Zong explained to Hua Su that he had given a life pill to Yan Zheng, hoping it would help him wake up and revive the others. Long story short, they rose up and faced Tong Kao again. With the support of the guardian spirit Hua Su, Luo Zong gained extra strength. Just as Lin Lin and the others were struggling, Luo Zong joined the fight. When he saw Yan Zheng badly injured, Luo Zong became furious with Tong Kao and used a powerful poem to try and save him. The officials from the Zhaogu family also discovered that Luo Zong was using a special martial arts book called A Line of Corrosive Songs. With its help, Luo Zong managed to defeat Tong Kao and put an end to him. He realized that all the problems seemed to stem from the same source. After defeating Tong Kao, Luo Zong healed Yan Zheng and ensured everyone's safety. However, Luo Zong decided to abandon his plan to separate the brush from his body. He knew he would face challenges ahead with his 2 brushes by his side, but he was ready to face them. Despite the constant danger to his life, Luo Zong accepted his fate, and the story concludes here. The film ends. The moral lesson from this film is if you're ever attacked by bandits, just play along and bring your brush cause apparently. It's the ultimate weapon against surprise attacks. And hey, don't forget, when life hand you mystical brushes, just roll with it, even if it means fighting off evil spirits in your spare time.